battle begins.
It looks like the KPG lanes will be fairly straightforward. It will be an off-lane Tide on the Dire side. That puts Invoker mid being played by Jet, and they will do a safe lane tri-lane. The Shadow Demon, Nyx Assassin is his name. God damn, I like that. I really like that. That's a good one. And we've got Artez on the position 1 Razor here. Well, how do you pronounce that one, Blaze? What's your best guess?
That's the best guess I've got is Artez. Arte might work, but given the Russian background, I don't think that fits as well as
he
a
could
French
be French. It's a silent F, Arte.
I think it's Ukrainian. Yeah, he is, so... They managed that. For now, they're just going for some good pulling, attacking with a nice sentry ward, and making it a little bit more difficult for Goric to find his experience.
Absolutely, and this is part of the reason off lane is so good for Tidehunter. It's easy to stack the Ancients and not very easy for the opposition to continue. Block, or snipe the last hits from you. They will get a ward down a little bit late. He's already gotten a double stack, but they will mitigate his further farming utility here. We'll see if he picks up a sentry and tries to counter it, but this is a tricky one to try and deal with counter ward wise. You often have to block it yourself to take out the ward, so if you're sentrying a sentry, it's tricky. It's not an easy life for a Tidehunter out of the gate.
We're going to see some early farm come out for Evoke. It's just a little bit above the Ember Spirit, but as he gets 4 points in Exhort, that's going to become easier and easier. The fact that he's gotten 10 and 4 with only 1 point in Exhort is quite impressive, and that'll allow him to very quickly move towards that Hand of Midas that we very frequently see on the Exhort Invokers. And of course, on top of that, you've got the Shadow Demon Disruption. If you synergize that and maybe a pointed Soul Catcher with the Sunstrike, you should be able to get a nice little kill on Cheshire Cat.
Yeah, he did go boost first, pretty standard for the off-lane Prophet, and he is finding an okay amount of experience, almost level 3, actually will find it just now, and has sniped a couple of last hits, just sitting 2 and 0, having a much better time than this Tidehunter, still 0-0 in terms of CS, and only halfway through level 1. Still a while to go before Goric here really comes online. So pretty quiet early game. Everyone seems happy as a clam, just sitting back and farming away. Razor is slightly out farming the Mirana, 20 and 9 versus the 17 and 5 Moon. Position 1 Mirana is she's actually kind of fallen out of style a little bit. I feel like most of the Miranas I've seen recently have been, have been more in a position 4 kind of a role. And I'm curious to see how Moon builds here. He does have a tendency to pick up Hand of Midas on the carries that he likes to run, and I have seen him do Midas Mirana. He will pick up Blades of Attack, so it will at the very least make a pit stop off for some phase boots, but I wouldn't cross off Hand of Midas as an option for Moon on this Mirana.
Oh, definitely. I think Hand of Midas is actually, like, Mirana's one of the better heroes to carry that item. I'm generally a person that doesn't like too many Midases coming out because I feel it inhibits early game a lot, but what is a Mirana really going to do with 2,000 gold that changes how she plays? Like, you get Yasha and it helps, but it doesn't really completely change anything. Actually, mid lane, just going to be some cold snap and Open Strikes coming out back and forth. But yeah, with the Midas Mirana, you usually don't really see Mirana right-clicking really hard in the early stages of the game. The big contribution is going to be the arrow, maybe some Starfalls, and in general just about building up that experience and bigger and better items. So I actually do like the idea of Midas on her, and with this safe lane farm pretty much uninhibited by the Tide, I think that that's going to be a good option after the phase.
Yeah. And she also benefits a lot from attack speed. She's one of those heroes that, Invoker, the attack speed is not really that big of a deal, but on a hero like Mirana, it actually really adds to her effective DPS and is still a little bit of utility even into the later portions of a match when that Hand of Midas is more than paid for itself. So I do kind of agree with you. And, well, if he can get it early enough, then this Mirana will really be online quickly and a force to be reckoned with. Position 1 Mirana is it's all about the momentum. If she has a lot of farm and is doing quite well in terms of net worth, then she certainly can be a hard carry, but if she's not really up to snuff with the other carries, then her damage feels a little bit lackluster. Right now, the big disparity is still the offlaner. Skorek is still yet to hit level 2, has that first point in Kraken Shell, and can't even really farm these Ancients. It's only a double stack, but you need the Anchor Smash to do the damage. So he is really limited on his options right now. Nature's Prophet, on the other hand, almost level 5. He's only grabbed 7 last hits, but the experience is the huge disparity here.
Yeah, that's a really good point. The fact that Tidehunter essentially needs level 5 to actually clear out the Ancients unless he gets a lot of assistance means that he's going to be set back for a very long period of time, and just sitting here with 1 point of Kraken Shell, he contributes absolutely nothing but a warm body to the lane and to the map as a whole. So this allows PR to start getting aggressive pretty soon. If Bane wants to rotate mid and try to get a pick off on Invoker, there's very little that you would see out of most of these heroes, Razor and Tide in particular. Shadow Demon might rotate, he does have a TP scroll, but he has been investing a lot in his mana pool just to take down these treants. The Nature's Prophet has been getting the Creequilibrium reset time and time again with these very effective and very interesting cosmetic treants, and then the Shadow Demon has been trying to use his poison at rank 2 now to try to take them down.
Yes, indeed. Poor Ember Spirit having some issues here. All right, let's look at some Nyx Assassin problems here. Win rates in 6.81. Solo hard lane, he's got about a 49% win rate in 100 games. In the safe lane try support, a startlingly low 35% win rate, only across 34 games, but it would appear that statistics indicate that Nyx Assassin is a little bit more potent if he gets some more experience and farm priority.
Oh, definitely. The Vendetta really isn't a threat from a support when he hits level 6. Like, we already see the Nyx Assassin is only at 3 right now, so it's definitely not as dangerous. It's not hard to work around it, and by then your supports are generally going to have plenty of gold to spare to pick up the Sentry Wards. If you go for an offlane Nyx Assassin, you actually have a lot more potency with your first Vendetta of the game because there's so much you can do with it. And along with that, he scales really well when you can get more points in Mana Burn and Spike Carapace early. These skills, we always look at the Impale and the Vendetta, but really Mana Burn and Spike Carapace are skills that if you can get them maxed out relatively early, they can make a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And we've seen games where Nyx Assassin goes solo mid and just destroys people, especially if you can find a solo kill or someone comes and ganks his lane. He is a pretty snowbally hero that can be very difficult to deal with once he starts moving around and gaining a little momentum. We won't see it here in this game, though, unfortunately. God damn, he's going to have to sit back and just try and leech experience when he can. He is level 3. Let's actually take a look at the supports and see if there's a disparity there. No, actually, all 4 supports here are level 3, so pretty even on that front. Maybe a slight experience advantage for the Dire side, but both of them making good use of the jungle. Mid lane is still looking fairly even as well. Jet is about 6 CS up on the Ember Spirit, but all things considered, they're both doing pretty well. I guess Invoker does have quite a few more denies than the Ember Spirit, which also makes a difference. Invoker is level 6, and Sunsvet has just now hit level 6 himself.
Also, check out Jet's current gold. On the Invoker right now, he's actually almost got a full hand of Midas. If he decides to go bootless for a little bit, it's risky because he is a 280 MS hero, but if he does go straight for the hand of Midas, he'll be able to jump up and farm dramatically, and it's just mostly the passivity of PR that's been enabling that. They haven't really made any movements towards the mid lane, and they've actually been fairly active in the lane too. Like, they've shown up a couple times. Invoker feels kind of safe, and he's been able to accrue a staggering amount of gold banked up.
Yeah, he sure has. Blaze, it's time for some more jokes, man. I'm still trying to wake up. You've been awake. You casted StarCraft, or I said StarCraft. You start.
Oh yeah.
The SEA this morning. Oh, we got to reconnect. Maybe we don't need a joke. I need to laugh. I was listening to Die Antwoord this morning to try and wake up and get in the zone, and it only kind of worked. I don't really get what's going on with that band, man.
Which one?
Die Antwoord. You don't know that?
No. I'm not so good on the. I wouldn't say unknown bands, but the ones that are like in medium obscurity, like
it is
mid-level.
a South African hip-hop rave group.
Okay, I apologize. I do not apologize at all for not having that one.
Well, they're achieving international fame, but yeah, it's some of the strangest music I've ever heard in my life, and it's somehow growing on me like a like an odd fungus. But here we go. We've got to reconnect, and we've got a game on our hands. 5.5 minutes in, no first blood quite yet. Everyone's still just farming away, playing some good old-fashioned safe Dota. But not living up to the reputation of the CIS RU region, where it's usually a little more action-packed. So I hope once the first blood comes out, that'll kind of break the seal, and then both teams will go into aggressive mode. And uh-oh, we see a rotation already. Nature's Prophet, he hops to the bottom lane. They're ready to push. They want this tier 1 tower, and they will pressure it hard. Tide is now level 2, but only so much he can do to hold off this incoming push.
Yay, Tide under level 2 at 6 minutes in the game. Gotta take the solace in the little things there. But they're gonna lose this tier 1 for sure. The TP rotation seems a little belated. It seems they want to try it though with the fortification CD. This is a huge rotation, 3 TPs.
Yeah, they burn the clip, they keep the tower safe, but...
Oh, mid lane?
Is it worth it is the question. Jet will get hopped upon, Fire Remnants comes out, that's a first blood from Sunsvet. Since they burned all their TPs to go bottom, they had no support TPs to go mid and try and save the Invoker.
Tower is under attack.
So a good read from the Ember Spirit, and you talked about him being bootless, rushing the hand of Midas, makes it difficult to get away from the Ember when he has that gap closer. And Power Rangers will now pull into the lead as their mid lane achieves victory.
Yeah, and Invoker didn't even get his first transmute off, so as fast as his Midas came out, it's going to be pushed back about 30-40 seconds, and that just makes it a little less valuable. But he's just going to TP to the lane immediately, go in and try to get that off cooldown quickly, but Sunset punishes him. He's like, you're not getting to this creep wave, man, not without a fight. And
yeah, any second you can delay, that's good. He still isn't. There we go. Finally uses the Hand of Midas, but that really is the ideal time. If a Hand of Midas is off cooldown and you die with it like that, that is the opposite of efficiency. So good timing for the Ember Spirit, of course. And let's just take a glance at the graph here, and that's going to be a big boost for Power Rangers. But they are finding just more effective experience farm around the map. They've got about a 2,000 experience lead and 750 gold in the lead.
Yeah, things like net worth can be a little deceiving for the smaller numbers though, because the amount of TPs we saw rotate through, that's expended gold that, yeah, you can look at it and it's like a consumable, but it's one that they don't have on hand anymore. PR has invested nothing in their movement across the map. Cheshire Cat, he gets a free TP to the jungle when he wants it, and so far in general, they've just been expending less to get more. And in this position, it does show that there is a lot of potential for them to go really strong into the mid game.
Yes, indeed. And Tidehunter is just moving around now. He's level 3. Gets that second point in Kraken Shell, but he's just a fish out of home right now. Oh, Sunset. He'll go in on the Jet, and he will pay for it. And makes it at least a 1-for-1. But another huge rotation from KPG as Tide waddles his way in. He finds a little bit of experience on that recovery kill, so I guess it is worth it for him. But Invoker will take the tumble once again.
Yep, just diving down, getting a huge amount of experience from a hero that has been topping the charts for a little bit now. So getting a kill on a level 7, I believe, and now level 8. Ember Spirit is actually ramping up hard, and I don't think he regrets his decision in the slightest, because again, TP rotations are required. They get a space created down on bottom lane for Moon to farm, and he himself isn't really doing too bad. He's got plenty of gold, he's been build up drums early, and right back to the mid lane.
Yeah, that's part of the power of the Ember Spirit, that limited downtime with the Fire Remnants. But right now, Tide is just kind of babysitting mid lane, leeching experience from the Invoker, which is usually not ideal. Invoker is one of those heroes that benefits a lot from experience, and usually don't want to leech if you can avoid it. Down bottom lane, Mirana will get caught by the disruption. Sunstrike's on the mark, but they actually don't connect with the Impale. Probably would have been a kill if they connected there, but wow. Ember Spirit comes down bottom. That's a double searing chain. Even the teleport down from Cheshire Cat. Shadow Demon's already fallen. Down goes the Nyx Assassin, and that will be a 2-for-0 turnaround. Oh boy.
Radiant's top
What
tower is under attack.
For KPG. They're going to lose this tower here. They're going to try to do a bit of return damage, but a Razor without a target to link doesn't really hit that hard. He'll take it slowly, but that's about it. And we're seeing actually just a march on the tier 2. Like in this situation, they're losing out by far, and they have so many creeps right now and no AoE clear to deal with it. So it actually looks like it will be falling.
Yeah, instead they'll try and pressure the other lanes and get some tier 1 towers.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, wow.
Artez comes in, takes a Mystic Flare, and he may survive, but this is a bit of a wasted TP. His tower still goes down, no deny comes out. If he had committed to this top tier 1 tower, I don't know that he could have killed it, but could have gotten it damn low.
Radiant
Instead,
structures
he just TP's
are
in, and now he's
fortified.
forced to go back to the base, and we'll have
Radiant's
to run
middle
back
tower
to
is
lane.
under attack.
And they pressure the mid tier 1 pretty hard, but can't quite bring it down. It feels like KPG are a little too loose with their TPs. And this is the second or third time now it's bit them in the ass with an overreaction, and then they're stuck just kind of walking around with their teleports on cooldown.
Yep, so they're going to try to rotate in the jungle, find a little bit of farm there, but I want to mention Tidehunter's skilling right now. He's actually gone for a 1-2 and 2 build-up, so even at level 5, he's still not able to really contest the Ancients, and those are already stacked up to triple. Like, what should be a clean avenue of farm for him is still unavailable, and he's going to be taking some time to try and fix that. For now, though, they're just losing out on towers left and right, and they, of course, have a 3-kill disadvantage as well. If the Ember Spirit goes for a more early game build and forgoes the Battle Fury, they could actually just steamroll right over KPG.
Yeah, and he may do that. Right now, just Brown Boots, a Bracer, and the Magic Wand. He could do something
Dire's
like
middle
straight
tower
into
is
a
under
Keela,
attack.
Phase Boots, Drum of Endurance. Those 3 items in an early timing are quite potent. What does he have coming out on the Courier here? It will be Blades of Attack and a Drum of Endurance. So there you go. Stunsvet now hitting harder and tanking up quite a bit. Will pop a regen rune, hops forward with a Sleight of Fist, just harassing Jet. And, well, showing his power here in the mid lane, flexing his muscles, if you will, Blaze.
Yep, we're going to see Razor TP right up top instead of walking, so again, they're just like, they want to be places right here and now, and they're not really willing to wait it out before they actually get there. So it's almost cost you the amount of gold you just expended to farm up the next creep wave, and then from there it just doesn't feel like you've actually gotten any net gains, while the Ember Spirit keeps farming away, keeps doing what he wants to, and now looks for the top rune spawn.
Yeah, definitely. And looking at Razor's build, he's gone Power Treads, Basilius into Drums. So he is going kind of an early fighting build here. Is rather tanky, considering we're only 12 minutes in. We'll see if he ends up going for a mech. Or
Jet's
not.
got it.
But, oh, no, they've already gone. Oh, Courier is in some trouble. A few right clicks will bring it down, but it will survive. It is the Shadow first of all. Yeah, except for the feed script, but it will cost Ouija sick everything and anything. Invoker gets picked off in the mid lane while we're watching this by the Skywrath Mage. Moon will pop the ultimate, and Moonlight Shadow will ensure his
Dire's
survival.
middle
So yeah,
tower
double
is under
damage.
attack.
Ember Spirit mixed with the Skywrath Mage enough to bring down the Invoker. So there's a 1-for-2 across the map in the context of the top lane. It is a Bane for Shadow Demon exchange.
Yeah, Centaur canceling TPs and causing some grief, but yeah, it's just it's really nice how the Ember Spirit's able to take advantage of whenever there's a fight somewhere else to just ban up on the
Dire's
Invoker.
middle tower
Invoker
is
is
under
moving towards
attack.
Mechanism, almost has it, but
Radiant's
a double
top
damage
tower
rune is
is
already here
Dire's
for
middle
Sunsvet, and
tower
he
has
takes the
fallen.
full advantage of that. They take a free tier 1, they lose nothing up on the top lane, and they're just feeling extremely confident right now. Even going in against the Ravage, they're like, we'll just take you down, no problem, and there she goes.
And it really was no problem. Ty didn't have much opportunity to react. Even if he threw a Ravage there, I think he would have been hard-pressed to survive with a Mirana leap at the ready. Could have chased him down for sure. She also has a Yasha, so she is quite speedy on that kitty she rides around. I'm not sure how I feel about this mech on the Invoker. The nice thing with the Hand of Midas is he'll have it at a decent timing, about halfway to the recipe, but
Radiant's
it
middle
limits him.
tower is under
Usually you want
attack.
to see like a 4-staff in the Necro book
Dire's
after Hand of
top
Midas, because
tower
it gives
is
him a lot
under
more
attack.
utility. Up top, goddamn, initiates on the Moon. There will be a Sunstrike on the money. That's the setup they've been waiting for, and they will just bring
Radiant's
down the
middle
Mirana.
tower has
And Invoker
fallen.
gets a tier 1 tower in the mid lane, so all of a sudden, Jet has a mech and about 300 gold to spare. Will he survive, though, is the question. It's looking grim. TP out, not enough. Ember Spirit will chop him down, and he will feel the wrath of the fiery sword.
Okay. J4 will try to stop a TP with his ultimate. Turns out that the Artistic Flare does have its limits in that capacity, so Shadow Demon just sneaks on out of there. But yeah, I definitely agree the mechanism on Invoker at this point in the game sticks out like a sore thumb. It's not even just the fact that he picks it up on this hero, like with all these points in Exhort, he has the mana pool to support it fine. But it's an order of operations issue. The picking up of a Midas and then into a mechanism doesn't really work well for the timing of what you want to do with it. The reason you pick up a mechanism really early is to push out a tower, which would be great for the top tier 1 siege they've been going on with the Razor, but the Razor went drums, the Invoker went the mech, and it doesn't feel like it's synchronized very well. You go Midas, you delay, then you get the mechanism when its earliest timing is more potent. It doesn't make much sense to me, but we'll see a smoke movement, maybe an early Roche. They don't have Medallion, but they do have the Forge.
Yeah, without a Medallion, this is very risky, mostly just because of the time it's going to take. The Forge Spirit do minus armor, but it doesn't
Dire's
work on
top
both
tower
shots.
is
So what
under
would normally
attack.
be a nice bout of minus armor here is just not so potent. And this is, even if they get the roach, the time they have to commit to this, PR can take out this top tier 1 and probably do pretty significant damage to this tier 2 tower in the top lane if no one else for KGB commits. KG.
Dyer's top tower has fallen.
KG. Holy crap. Alexi is messing with me here. They will bring the tide in, and there is no radiant vision around the roach pit, so they don't really know that this is going on, and they don't really seem to care all that much. They're happy enough just to take 2 towers in exchange for roach. And
Dyer's top tower is under attack.
Towers uncontested, would you call that an even trade, a good trade?
It helps that they're so low on levels that the experience still really matters from the roach, but gold-wise, it is a disastrous exchange.
Yep. Here's an interesting little stat. In 530 games on this
Dyer's
patch,
top
Invoker
tower has fallen.
picked up a mech just shy of 5% of those matches. That is a pretty low amount of mech pickups. I have to admit, I'm not surprised to hear that it's that low because it's really not something you see too frequently.
And even in this game, the Razor, the Tide seem to be the better pickups. It looks like Tide's going to go into a Blink Dagger instead, finally finishing out that Ancient stack. That's going to be okay for him. But, I mean, do you look for the big Blink Ravage and the usage of Mechanism for 5v5 fighting, which they've been avoiding because they've already lost so much in the laning stage. They're down 5 kills. They're very unconfident about going into the next fight, and that's really has been favoring PR left and right. So now they have the tools to try to bring this back. They have the Aegis, they have the mech, they have the Ravage. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yes, indeed. The 4 hero smoke. They'll rotate down towards the bottom lane. It looks like they want to make a move towards Cheshire Cat. Don't know how easy of a gank he'll be. If he gets suspicious, he may just TP out. He does have a level 1 Necronomicon and the Hand of Midas as well, but yeah, he's already just so defensive in his positioning. And this is a big commitment for just a lone Nature's Prophet. Will they try to dive the tower here is the real question. Goddamn, coming in, TP, and Nature's Prophet, yeah, he TP's out of there.
Ember has to get out quick, actually. He's going to run into 4 people right now.
There he goes. Fire Remnant down, there you go. So that is a failed smoke gank, and maybe KPG will get this tier 1 tower, but PR already have their sights set on the mid lane, and they'll try to trade a tier 1 for a tier 2
Radiant's
tower.
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, now it's going to be KPG to once again just make their TP rotations back, try to play defensively, but we already see a pickoff. Invoker gets hit by the arrow out of his TP and barely survives.
Yep, the defensive disruption coming in handy. Artez, he gets caught by the Fiend's grip right outside of the tower. The follow-up damage just isn't there. Skywrath juking around the other side will actually fake out the Nyx Assassin as he whiffs an Impale. Moonlight Shadow flies out and they just don't have the detection. J4 walks away, and there is a Radiant Sentry down, but I don't see any Dire Sentries. Shadow Demon does have a couple in his inventory, but he didn't even bother to put one down.
Yeah, in this position, they're at least able to hold the tower, and they did take that bottom tier 1, but they want to get more out of this 6-minute period where they do have the immortality on the Razor. The fact that he survived was really good. Like you mentioned, the defensive disruption kept him going, but he needs more raw durability, and that's where the Aghanim Scepter comes in. 1,000 gold off of that, he'll actually be able to be a little bit more active in his pushing, in his fighting, and of course, just surviving through the fight.
Yep, just needs to pick up that point booster. So that is one of the nice things about skipping the mech is he's able to get that Ags out a little more quickly. And same goes for the Tide. If he had made a pit stop for mech, he would still be pretty far away from this Blink Dagger, or well about halfway there. And he's just hanging on to this casual Ring of Protection. This is sort of a cute little, I guess Tide wanted to trick out, get some bling going on here. I don't know what his plan is with this. But,
probably nothing. I don't think there's really much value in expanding that into any other items you can progress with, but it does give him some nice durability, and as many know, Stout Shields on Tidehunter offlane is kind of pointless. Once you get 2 points of Kraken Shell, you have a 100% chance to Stout Shield block, so it doesn't stack in any way, and that's just the item he went in its stead.
Yep. Mid lane, oh, we'll see Goddamn get caught by Mystic Flare, he gets silence as well. But now he comes back. Whoa, that was a value spike Carapace. Unfortunately, not enough to keep him alive, but we'll get a couple of stuns out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we see Moon get picked off by the Tidehunter, Shadow Demon, and Razor trio here. Do they have
Dyer's middle
a
tower
gem
is
on
under
us,
attack.
Sentry? They will find an Observer Ward there.
Radiant
Nice little
structures are
pick-me-up after
fortified.
picking off the position on Mirana, who, by the way, has a Manta style complete, sitting at home waiting for her as she respawns.
Radiant's
and
top
to
tower
follow that
has
up, they will
fallen.
grab a tier 1 tower kill. Meanwhile, in
Dyer's
lane, their tier
structures
2
are
takes
fortified.
more damage, and it's just a huge TP reaction. A Ravage flies through, taking only we just sick. J4 will get left behind, and he gets finished off as the Sunstrike flies through. Sort of an underwhelming Ravage, though. I mean, a pick-off is good, never a bad thing, but That's
Dire's
a big
middle
ultimate,
tower
and
has been
ultimately
denied.
They don't get a huge amount out of it. They deny the tower though, and now Jet finds a force staff. This is looking a little better for KPG, and they are starting to regain some momentum here.
Yeah, here and there. They're gonna feel better in 2 minutes when they have their Ravage, but then they're gonna be towing the line of when that Aegis expires. So it's very difficult to actually find a timing where they're at their full strength, and PR is willing to take them in a fight. So far, PR have been doing some really good dodging and ducking, avoiding the 5v5, and just farming very efficiently. I think that's one of the defining aspects of this particular game, is just how way.
Yeah, now Ember Spirit has his first Battle Fury complete. 21 minutes after Phase Drum Magic Wand. Not the best timing, but certainly still on point with what most would consider acceptable. Arrow flies through, does miss the Nyx Assassin. He goes off the Vendetta, but they will chase him down. Necronomicon gives them the detection they need. That is actually a level 3 Necro book up on the Nature's Prophet. So easy kill on Mr. Nyx Assassin, and Razor will find himself a big item pickup here as well. Ag Scepter, though, now they have that Aegis issue you were talking about. Whoa, Ember Spirit, he walks his way right into the Razor. Has a haste rune on, so he'll feel pretty safe. Breaks the static link just about right away. Now goes back in for a Sleight of Fist, connects on the chain with the Tide. Knows there isn't a Ravage, wants to go for it, but he gets purged, and Sunset may bit off more than he can chew. He tries to juke some of the damage with that Sleight of Fist, but he will be unsuccessful. Gets a lot of heroes low, but can't find a kill.
Yeah, that was a pretty big error. Of course, Demonic Purge dispelling the haste rune, so he doesn't have any mobility, and he was just a little bit shy of mana for Activate Fire Remnant. If he had the Magic Wand off cooldown, he would have been able to just jump out, but as it were, yeah, just get taken down.
Yeah, unfortunate for him, but Power Rangers will just continue finding farm around the map. Shadow Demon will actually now pick up a Force Staff, so that's 2 Force Staffs on the side of the Dire. They're getting a bit more mobile. Good items to have against Mirana in particular. You get hit by that long-range arrow. If you're facing the right way, you've got that chain of Force Staffs to help out. Same with Fiend's Grip as well. But we'll see. KPG having trouble finding that big team fight they're looking for. I think they're really hoping to utilize this Ravage in a 5v5 clash, and honestly, Power Rangers have been doing a pretty good job avoiding those head-on engagements and playing more of a guerrilla warfare style where they get little pickoffs here and there and just more focused around farming efficiency than trying to take a fight. We'll see Bane start stacking up Ancients. They should move it into a triple stack, I believe. Oh god, got the tail end of that one, but yeah. They'll invade the jungle and he'll get picked off again. That's back-to-back solo deaths for this Mirana.
Yeah, he got spooked by the blinking in of the Tide, and then he literally just jumped into 3 people, so no getting out of that one, unfortunately. And 35 seconds might be enough time to really put some damage into this tier 2. They don't have fortification. I don't think they want to buy back, but they may just have to.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Bypass for a tier 2 tower, but we'll see. That's available. This
Dire's
is
top tower is under attack.
They pop the mech, the Sleight of Fist comes in and harasses them back. There is a Radiant Glyph not available. Pardon me, it is
Radiant's
still on
bottom
cooldown.
tower has
So
fallen.
yeah, Power Rangers will not mount the defense, and KPG will gain a little more gold under their belts, and that's enough for Nyx Assassin to grab himself a Blink Dagger, his first real core item following the Arcane boost. Now the Ember Spirit goes forward, does get hit by the Spike Carapace. Sunset hops into his death. There's the Ravage on 2, Skyrat falls, and that'll be a dead Bane. Power Rangers, they were in great shape, but now they are starting to commence the throws as KPG clean it up, and now they have their sights set on the high ground, it seems.
Yeah, Sunset just getting a little too bloodthirsty there and going in all by himself. That just set up his allies for failure. The supports go in, following through behind their solo mid, and they just get rocked. Now we see the Force Staff and the combo bringing down Moon, but he barely leaps out of the Sunstrike, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, Mirana,
Radiant's
one of the more
bottom
difficult
tower
targets
is
to
under
lock down in
attack.
that scenario. And they will do just a little damage to this tier 3 tower, get it down to about 2/3 health, and with that KPG will back out. No need to press their luck here, as they've already taken a good team fight. They'll be happy with their spoils. And the gold draft now just about zeroed out, and experience is finally moving in favor of our Dire side. First time in the history of this match here that they've taken the experience lead. And boy, do they have a lot of momentum. I think Power Rangers are still in okay shape. They just need to tighten up and stop getting picked off, honestly. Maybe it's a warding issue, but they need to really just tighten up here. And they have their position one Mirana, who was decently farmed with a Manta style at a decent timing, but now she's been picked off solo twice, and it's really hurt his economy.
Yeah, not really having much behind him, and you really, like you said, need to be kind of snowballing forward to be on the same tier as other carry heroes towards the later stages of the game. Razor's getting pretty big here with 3,600 gold banked up. We'll see if he goes for, oh, it's actually going to be a plate mail, potentially towards an AC or Shivas. Roshan, they're going to be going at that once again. Jed has, since the last skirmish, actually gotten farmed quite a bit. He took down like a triple wave from the Nature's Prophet when he was split pushing on the top lane with Meteor, and of course has been using his Midas actively to build up towards his Hex.
Yeah, it is actually off cooldown here as they move into the Roche pit, but nitpicking at its finest. They will take down
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tryhard slapped him with a gun. Uh-oh, Ember Spirit's gonna snatch the Aegis. Oh no, he could have. He had a pretty big window there. You can actually pick up items while you're sleight of fisting if you scoot past it. So if you slide in and just spam right click on the Aegis, you can actually snipe it while you're invulnerable. At least you could in the last patch. I don't believe that's been hot fixed. Pretty big window of opportunity there, but he doesn't roll the dice, and it will just be an uncontested Roche. Once again, the Aegis of the Immortal goes the way of the Invoker.
Yeah. So 2 plate mails on the field now for KPG. The armor doesn't really do much against the Battle Fury Cleave, but of course there are plenty of other right clicks coming than just the Ember Sleight of Fist cleaving away. So in this position they'll pick up the plate mail most likely for Shivas for Tidehunter, and that's going to be progress for AC for Arte. So in this position, if he gets level 16, gets his AC, this is going to put him in a position where he can actually completely dominate throughout the team fight.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Now KPG, they smoke up. It is a 5-hero rotation moving towards the mid lane, and they'll move into the Radiant jungle exactly where Power Rangers are lurking. And this could prove disastrous. We'll see a scouting arrow thrown by Moon. They know that the trap isn't set in the lane, and now they may be a little suspicious. They could be coming from the backside. This Cheshire Cat gets caught out, and it looks like he will take a cover as they open with a Mixed Assassin stun. Will be a 1 for nil, and they will continue to press forward. What do Power Rangers do here? It looks like they are on the back foot. TPs aplenty, and they will try to make the escape as they move into the side shop. It looks like most of them will make it out as long as they TP just about now. Still, KPG find another pickoff, and they've actually taken the hero kill lead as well.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Kind of a little bit of a game of throws because of the fact that they had such an advantage and now they're kind of falling back. They still have some good late game, especially with this Ember Spirit, but this Hex is going to come out very soon for the Invoker, and from there it's like kind of the hard counter to an Ember Spirit, and it plays right into the style that KPG have been running for the past 10 minutes, which is just pick off, pick off, pick off, and find an opening with a number
Radiant
advantage.
structures are fortified.
Yep, and now the Ag Scepter is out on the Razor. They
Radiant's
will start
middle
cutting through
tower
these
is under
structures.
attack.
Grit flies as the Tier 2 tower takes some pretty heavy pressure. Ember Spirit doing what he can to go down, but honestly, he doesn't hurt that much. Arrow
Radiant's
flies
middle
through,
tower
will hit
has
the
fallen.
tide. This could be a good time to take a fight. This assassin will fall to the Skywrath off to the side.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They pop the back with KPG, committing pretty hard. Ravage on 4. They finish off the Bane, and Ember Spirit will survive. Moonlight Shadow deployed, and
Dire's bottom tower is under
But they do get the
attack.
Tier 2 tower. So again, the Dire side find an advantage. Searing Chains connect on the creeps. A little bit of bad RNG for Sun's Vet. And that'll be the end of it. KPG will just back out, happy with their trade.
Yeah, in this position, they wanted more out of that. The Nyx Assassin had his Vendetta right on the Skywrath, but they had a
Dire's
Sentry Ward in
bottom
place, so
tower is under
although the damage
attack.
came through, they were able to immediately Fiend's Grip him and take him out of the fight without him really getting any stuns off. So the Ravage was good. They did get that 1 pick, but at a serious cost, I believe. They don't want to be losing out on those 5v5s at this stage in the game, and Ember is actually going to be a force that, if he's careful and avoids the Sheepstick, is going to be probably the biggest threat come the 40-minute mark.
Yes. I should say, yeah, 2,300 gold. He's on his way to his next big item, so that is a fair point. He will get scarier. And part of the problem for KPG
Dire's
is
middle
they have
tower
some
is
pushing
under
power, but
attack.
they haven't really been able to knock towers down too easily. They still have 1 outer tower remaining, but in the context of breaking high ground, they can't really just hop in and pressure the base. They need to take a good fight somewhere outside of the base, and even though Power Rangers have been letting this game slip away from them, they haven't had one of those epic team fight fails. It's just been these little losses here and there, and I think once they tighten up and find a good engagement, we may see the tides shift once again. But of course that does rely on Power Rangers to actually tighten up, and they still are all spread about, just worried about their own individual farms as more big items come out for the Dire side. Now the Tide has a Shivas as well as an Assault Karas is now complete on the Razor. 2 big items we didn't see in that last fight. Scythe of Ice is complete on Invoker. Not sure when you picked that up, but that has been kind of leveled out, as also Cheshire Cat has just completed his Hex Stick as well.
Yeah, so right now it comes down to who finds the pickoff, who gets that opening, and who is going to get that quick disable. You see the Nyx Assassin trying to pin down one target. It could get the stun if he had Division, but nighttime to no avail. They won't be able to find either, and yeah, they're just going to have to kind of man mode it. Right now, Razor just hit 16, had the AC. This is the timing they were looking for, and this is the timing they certainly need to push in, at least on the top tier 2, where it's nice and easy, but after that, they have to consider high ground.
Yeah, and I'm just going to reiterate once again, guys, Moon and Moon Meander are two different people. This is obviously not Moon Meander. He is in North America. He plays for Team Complexity. Power Rangers are from Belarus in Eastern Europe. Completely different people, completely different
Dyer's
continents.
bottom
I know
tower
it's
is
very
under
confusing,
attack.
but alas, this is not Moon Meander. Just wanted to clear the air there, Blaze. Sorry about that.
Oh, definitely. People might have a certain ideas, but Moon's been around in the Dota 2 scene for a really long time. Moon Meander made a relatively recent transition, but
Dyer's
Moon has
structures
been
are fortified.
involved with Power Rangers for at least 2 years.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
He is an OG on that front. He will pop his BKB, speaks the devil. There's the TP in from Cheshire Cat, and they'll bring down the Shadow Demon. A valuable kill right there, as he was the gem carrier, and now it will enter the hands of Power Rangers. That could be the beginning of some momentum shift, as that is a pretty big net worth trade right there for just the lone Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you would actually have your gem on the Shadow Demon. Obviously, he gets a little bit more vision with Shadow Poison to try and de-ward and such, but in general, if your Shadow Demon's doing his job, then everybody else should be far more survivable than him.
That's actually a fair point, but I guess he can defensively disrupt himself. But once he has the gem and they realize it's in his inventory, that's just like putting a target on his back, and one stun or so, a little bit of focus fire, and he should be pretty easy to bring down. You'd even prioritize a Fiend's Grip on him for a team fight if it means you could get a gem acquired from the enemy. So all tied up, 12-12. Goldgraph completely zeroed out as KPG hold a very small experience lead, just about 3,000 or 4,000. Nothing too big a deal at this stage in the game. We see the BKB on Mirana has been completed. It was the 10-second charge we saw in that last little skirmish. But yeah, Moon is definitely online at this point, and we'll see what item build he transitions to now that he's got his magic immunity online.
Oh, we're going to see Cheshire Cat go onto Gorak. He's going to actually get the Hex out. It will dispel pretty quickly, but out of mana. Could be out of life pretty quickly with the Nature Sprout catching him, and the Blink continuously put up cooldown.
Blocks coming in. Jet is nearby, but so is Power Rangers. There's Sunset connects with the Siri Chains. That'll be the end of the tide. Still can't get a Ravager off before he falls. The Meteor goes down, and now they've got the gem. Who's carrying it here? It's not the same. And, well, they put down a sentry anyhow. And they've got Necronomicon units, so Ghost Walk won't be safety this time. Jet. And it will be a 2-for-0 down here in the bottom lane. And while we're looking at that, Mirana finds a stray kill on the Nyx Assassin. I'm not sure what happened there. It was near the Dire Ancients. Looks like he probably just connected with an arrow. But a 3-for-0 exchange around the map, and all of a sudden, Power Rangers, they're heading straight for the base.
Yeah, they're in a really good position for this now, and it's just really interesting that the Fiend's Grip wasn't even necessary for those 2 pickoffs that Bane was involved in so directly. It's like, oh, got him in Sprout, no tree cutters here, and they're able to do it. Just make sure they force the Force Staff to be on cooldown early on, and they are endlessly chasing them very effectively. So nice moves there. Obviously, the Nyx was just an unfortunate loss to an arrow, and yeah, this is PR at the... I'm not sure if they're at their strongest because the Razor is still a very real threat, but if they can force some buybacks here... Oh, no buybacks, all 3 of them. Man, this is a game of buyouts. In this case here, like, you'd expect at least the Invoker that's had a Midas since like 7 or 8 minutes into the game to have some reliable gold banked up, but no, he's been buying hard.
Yes, indeed. And this is 30 seconds, even 60 seconds on the Invoker. This is very scary.
Man.
Just a Razor. There's only so much he can do to try and defend. Power Rangers, I hope they press the issue here. This is a huge window of opportunity. They don't have great equilibrium in the bottom lane, and that's really the biggest problem now. Looks like they will move towards the top where they can intercept the creep wave and get towards the base. Tide and Nyx will come up pretty quickly, and oh, what a shame that they just couldn't get to the base faster.
Tower is
there is a
under
Ravage
attack.
available, so they've got a good 15 seconds or so, and so Tide can make it rain with all those tentacles. No cliff, and this will at least be a tier 3 tower. How much do they commit to the racks is the real question. Nyx
Dyer's
is up,
top
Tide
tower
just now
has
respawning,
fallen.
and yeah, they'll just get the hell out of there. They'll take a tier 3 tower, and they will not press the issue.
No, that was effective enough, getting all that gold experience and now a little bit of control up on the top lane. Not the one you usually see fall first on the side of the Dire, but it's possible with the Nature Prophet causing some grief with his Necronomicon for them to leave it open for just a little bit too long. So we'll see that potentially take place, but the Invoker is back up, does have his Midas back, and yeah, I think that he was a little overzealous in picking up that Sheep Stick. It's very important to pick it up as quickly as you can, but the fact that he has absolutely no reliable gold just makes it so that the Nature's Prophet can always be more involved in the fights than him.
Yep. Oh boy, up top Tide. He's caught by Fiend's Grip, and that's a Mystic Flare to finish him off. Easy kill from Power Rangers, and once again, the Ravage Man takes a tumble, and he will not have a buyback. 50 seconds. Can they put some pressure on this top lane of Barracks? Maybe so. How much pressure is really the question. And they will press forward. Roche coming up very soon. It's a pretty quick Roche respawn. Neither side has any more coverage on that front, but oh yeah, we'll see Sunsvet get caught. And that'll make it a 1-for-1, and I'm not so sure the high ground is going to be an option here. Maybe Power Rangers come in and try and find another stray pickoff, but they need that Ember Spirit. He's a big bulk of their damage now.
Now, since there is no way to siege, the fight starts to revolve around the Roche pit. We do see Eye of the Storm was used for the attempted pickoff of the Ember Spirit, but that's a really short cooldown, and if they want to actually try to force the pit, I think they can, because they do have this Invoker with everything available. The Tide Hunter has his Shivas and should be with his team. This is actually a really good position for them to try to take the Aegis and try to take the cheese.
Yep, third Roche, always the biggin. And Power Rangers have not contested the first two Roshans, but this is the Roche they may want to step up their game and try and put some pressure in the pit, or at the very least just contest it, not make it easy for KPG. Waste some of the time and see if they can, you know, perhaps bait out a failed Ravage or something and then take a decent team fight. A lot of mobility tools on the side of the Dire. Now a Force or a Blink Dagger to join the Force Staff of the Shadow Team. They have 3 Blinks and 2 Force Staffs. So they do have a pretty long range in terms of initiation and also a lot of escape potential. They will smoke up, move into the Radiant jungle, looking for a pickoff before they move into the Roche pit, and they may have found it in J4, and oh no, he's the gem carrier. He will Force Staff into the trees, TP scroll coming up, and he will survive.
They don't lose their smoke, so they don't know what happened to him, but they're going to take their inferences pretty quick, and Arte will just break through the smoke and start auto-attacking creeps. So a little frustrated that that did not succeed, but if they do want to make their move into the pit again, I think they still have plenty of potential there.
Yep, absolutely. So they will set their sights that way. It seems you see Cheshire Cat just farming away in the Ire jungle. He does have feet now, but almost gets initiated on, but does leap, and that will juke the Impale. And he'll be fine for now. Still a 5v5 around the Roche pit. Cheshire Cat will shove into the lane just a little bit here, and that will pull back the forces of KPG. All 5 of them actually rotate into the base to push back the top lane. I guess without a tier 3 tower, they need to be extra careful, because if they're not, that range Drax will just slowly take more and more damage and eventually fall.
Yeah, we're going to see a BKB pretty soon on the Bane. They already have one on the Furians and the Mirana, so getting 3 BKBs up against the Tide, it's actually extremely relevant to how the team fight will play out. Obviously, the Ember Spirit still has to be very careful against the Hex, against the Ravage, but if they can put those 3 in the front line, get a good Fiend's Grip on somebody like the Razor or the Invoker, they can really just turn the tide of battle, and there's nothing the enemy can do other than defensively disrupt.
Yep. So let's take a gander here. Rotations towards the Roche pit. It gets pinged out by the Radiant. They know. And they will press forward. Already, Sentry Ward comes down. They're trying to anticipate the Moonlight Shadow initiation, but J4, he gets put by a stun. Now the Moonlight Shadow comes out, and the rest of the Radiant will start to join the party. Nature's Prophet is still up top. He's pressuring the top lane, and KPG do not have anyone in position to try and defend. And I think his presence will be enough to pull them back. They don't TP, they book it. And this range Drax will take at least some chip damage as the Treants and the Necronomicon units move into the base.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Easily by the Nature's Prophet. But most importantly, he pulls them out of the Roche pit just by pushing the top lane.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Now Invoker's up there, it's a 5v4 around the pit, and PR will move in. Even if KPG get a Ravage, without that Invoker, he is a huge piece of the damage up.
Yeah, they do have BOTs, but he's only one with summons, so it looks like he is going to be out of it after they run.
Yep, Goran comes in. That's a Ravage. Connects on a BKB Mirana and Sunset off to the side. No follow-up damage, and it will cost the Tide his life. Nature's Prophet falls.
But flies back straight away, right back to the party. Fiend Script out on Artez, and the Suns, or pardon me, the Mystic Flare flies through. Will secure the kill, even though Skyrock Hayden is picked off as well. God damn, Hayden is life right now as he gets put to sleep, and will get finished off by one more cleave from the Ember Spirit. Power Rangers take a 2-for-4 exchange. They did have to use a buyback on the Nature's Prophet, but well worth it, and of course he can TP right back into the fray. And will
Rashawn
secure
has fallen
the
to
third
the
vote and
Radiant.
the cheese.
Yeah, that's huge. And as you mentioned, it was really the Invoker's positioning there. He wanted to defend the racks. He wanted to keep his top lane alive, but that gave Pierre the opening with a quick teleport from the Ethereum to take that Roche down, no problem at all. If he had a few more points in Wex, almost got that Fiend Script on the Razor. That would have been a game breaker, but instead it's down bottom. Cheshire Cat going 1-for-1, but the defensive disruption keeping him alive.
Yeah, now the Fiend Script comes out on Shadow Demon. He'll survive for now. And actually the Bane falls as well. Moon committing deep into the base. Artez doing a lot of damage. Can Moon survive? No, he will fall. Power Rangers overcommitting a little bit here. Sunspec coming in. He will fall as well. He gets a double kill as he bleeds around. Will proc the agent, but all 5 dead for KPG. There's the buyback from Razor now. And the bottom tier 3 tower is fallen. They'll go hard on the melee racks. Artez trying to make the defense. But the full health Ember Spirit is pretty damn scary right here. They'll be spamming these guys. Artez needs to be careful. Gorak comes in. He's got the Ravage back. J4 falls. That'll be enough to finish off Sunset. Perhaps the Fire Remnants. Shivas will finish him off. Gorak, the man of the hour, comes in with a much needed Ravage and will keep KPG in the game. But the damage has been done. They lose a tier 3 tower. Bottom melee, or pardon me, bottom range racks take a lot of damage, but their base is still standing and crippling damage has not been done.
Yeah, it's a nice hold, but I mean they just lost so much in the first place there. They're all dead would be quite appropriate because they lost everyone. Everybody on PR was dead but the Skywrath, and then the Aegis took its effect on Ember Spirit. So really taking the Roshan resources and putting them to work. Moon staying in that fight for an extremely long time, and obviously the Ember made his impact as well. So they forced the buyback on the Razor. And that Rax is just so low. Nature Prophet just needs like one wave of Treants in conjunction with the backdoor protection being broken, and that thing's gone.
Yeah, and here we go. Question time. Sunsvet's earlier Aegis snatch was the second for the hero in this patch. Who was the hero with the most snatches in Infinite 1? Did he snatch an Aegis this game?
I did not recall it, but there might have been something I'm missing.
I think he was thinking about it. He was at the high ground. I remember it, but he didn't try it. They had the Aegis down. His Invoker had a full inventory, and he had to drop his wand. It might even still be in the pit. No, but
no, I think they were all clean. I think everybody got everything.
Oh, I heard you wrong. Question still stands. Which hero has the most snatches in this patch? I want to say Bat Rider, but I don't know.
Storm?
That's
I don't know. He doesn't get played enough, really.
Yeah, he's still the best at snatching, so I don't know. I don't know. Well, what's your guess, Mr. Blaze?
I really wish Storm was played more, so I'd be confident in this one, because he really is the best hero for it. There's plenty of heroes that can deny it too, but yeah, I'll go with Storm Spirit. I don't really see other heroes that are just built for it as much as he is.
It's probably somebody weird. It's probably like Clockwork or something.
Nice.
Clockwork is the winner! Oh, wow, with 7. And Bat Rider and Storm are tied for 2 with 5 each. Wow, all right, between the two of us, we guessed all 3 heroes. That's pretty good.
initiated on the mid lane. He gets turned into a piggy, and he will be melted. We just sick. Possibly BKB stays in the front lines. Now Sunspec comes in. BKB's popped to plenty. He takes a lot of return damage. Look at this Ember Spear. He's forced out with about 20 hit points to spare. Looks like he may survive. He has a full Daedalus picked up now, but he is just not that tanky. Meanwhile, on the other side, we just
Dyer's
Will
middle
gets finished
tower
off
is
as he gets
under
cornered.
attack.
Nature's Prophet, he just goes straight for the base. See you later, guys. Rat Dota will commence. KPG, I hope you have TP scrolls at the ready, and they certainly do. Jet is the first to head back to the base, and he's also joined by the Shadow Demon here. A 1-for-2 trade, not what Power Rangers were looking for, as KPG with an explosion of damage.
Yeah, this is just difficult to hold because of the base situation, but as far as actually killing the opposition, KPG still seemed very well in this game. I mean, Sunspet, even with the BKB, is still a glass cannon by nature.
Artez, he gets initiated upon by an invisible J4. They use the intel for Cheshire Cat to TP in. Easy kill on the Razor. That's a big pickoff. I think he did have to buy back before his last death. Yep, that's 100 seconds where he's in the grave. And Bane and Mirana both coming up in 10. This is a pretty big win. Does have a Ravage. That is the one big tool they have in their arsenal. Dire also have a Glyph, but this could be KPG's last stand.
Yeah, it's a very difficult position to hold. The Razor doesn't have any form of magic immunity, so he is getting torn apart by the Skywrath Mage, and it's obviously something that PR have known to get against the Tide, but it's not something that you want to have to get against the supportive Skywrath. But in the end, there is a lot of damage flying out, so we saw they made use of in conjunction with the Furion, and it just turns out that the Aghanim's, the Treads, the AC, it's
Dyer's
not enough
structures are
durability in those
fortified.
situations.
Yep. Glyph comes out right away as
Oh,
PR goes into the base. Still 45
Dyer's
seconds on the
middle
Razor.
tower
Yeah, Arrow
is
hits the Invoker. He gets the defensive destruction. Passes BKB, but Mystic Flare actually does about half his health before he goes down. Still falls as Sunspet dives the tier 4 towers, pops his BKB. Connects the Series Chain on the Shadow Demon. He takes a tumble. Now the next assassin falls. They might be able to grab a kill on Sunspet, but
Dyer's
some
middle
damage has
barracks
been
are
done.
under
Jet did
attack.
have to buy back to make that happen. Now he gets hexed, taking a lot of right clicks, has no BKB available, and only so much he can do. Goran comes in with a
Dyer's
Ravage, but it's just too
middle
little
barracks
too
are
late.
under attack.
Sure, they get the kill on Skywrath, but so many
Dyer's
heroes still
bottom
alive.
barracks
Tide
have
buys
fallen.
back, but without Ravage, how is he
Dyer's
ever going to
middle
hold
barracks have
bottom
fallen.
lane of Brax will fall. Mid lane of
Dyer's
Brax going
bottom
down shortly
barracks
after
are
Blaze.
under
This
attack.
will be Mega Creeps. Power
Dyer's
Rangers have
bottom
assembled the
barracks have
Megazord,
fallen. The
and it
Radiant
seems
now
they will
have Mega
secure victory
Creeps.
in the first game of Starladder EU, day number 3. GG, well played, comes out from KPG. Almost the Game of Thrones. Look at that grab. Up, down, and right back up again. It's the Power Rangers. They make it happen. They
Radiant
give Lord Jet
victory.
a dose of power.
Nice. I love the references, man.
Oh, yeah. What a game, though.
Yeah, really
Started
good
a
one.
little slow and then ended up to be quite action-packed.
Yeah, it was kind of on a knife's edge for PR's lineup in general because of how squishy they can be. Like, it's weird to say that Bane is the tankiest hero on the entire lineup. Like,